I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Look, I came all the way from Australia. The scrubs that I'm wearing are the same scrubs that I wore in Gaza. These scrubs have the blood of the women and children that were massacred in Gaza. And I'm here today to stand in solidarity with everybody here. While the world's attention is on what's going on with Iran and Israel, the massacres are being committed in Gaza. Now, they might have bombed the hospitals while we were in them. They might have silenced us while we were there. But we're here. We're going to make some noise. And to the man in 10 Downing Street, we see you. We know what you said. We know what you're doing. And we won't stay quiet. We won't stay silent till we get a free Palestine.
A long time ago, Israel should have had arms embargoes placed upon them. If the UK government had placed arms embargoes on Israel, we wouldn't be in the situation that we are right now, which is on the brink of World War III. Israel would not be having the weapons to commit terrorist attacks on their neighboring countries. We're seeing that they are launching terrorist attacks in Lebanon, the Pager attacks, which is state-sponsored terrorism, the attack on Iran, which has threatened global war, Syria, and so many other countries which they are simultaneously bombing. How many lives would have been saved if Israel didn't have the weapons to continue their military bombardment? So PAL Action are only doing what the UK government have failed to do, and that is to disarm the Israeli war machine. Therefore, Palestine Action are complying with international law and UK domestic law, yet they are being penalised with the misuse and abuse of terrorism laws. This needs to stop. The UK government must be held accountable and stop obstructing civilian movements that are doing the job that they have failed to do.
I was in Egypt with the UK delegation. We made some noise, we were heard, and hopefully there was enough of that. We're bringing that back to the UK now, and we need to stand up to all of this. This can't continue. We had to get out there. It was as much as we could do, given being stopped at the checkpoint. But it's got people going. People from different places are standing up now. We're here in London today. And we've got more people, we're louder. This stuff can't continue, this genocide, Israel, we need more of us, and we need to be out here making more noise and more disruption. The system needs to be disrupted. We can be peaceful, but we have to be disruptive.
When we went to Cairo for the march, what we found was, while we arrived at the airport, people being rounded up, people being arrested. When we were in Cairo, there were people being followed around. Doctors were arrested in their hotels. And when we got to the airport, people were in handcuffs being thrown onto planes and being deported. There were locals that were attacking people coming on the march, throwing objects at them. It was a coordinated response by the government to destroy the march, to stop and silence the people that were there to protest. It was a peaceful protest. It was about breaking the illegal siege in Gaza. This is evident throughout the entire world, where these marches are being cracked down upon, even in the most liberal democracies and societies. So, unfortunately, we still have to turn up every single day for those children in Gaza, because every day more and more are being funneled into cages and are being massacred in front of the whole world, and yet we can't do anything about it, it seems. We're watching black and brown people being absolutely wiped out from their homes and ethnically cleansed, and Iran is just another piece. It's just another piece of the jigsaw puzzle. Listen, the whole world stands with those people in Gaza. The whole world stands for humanity. The whole world stands for the women and children that are being starved to death. So it doesn't matter who they bomb, and it doesn't matter who they starve, and it doesn't matter how many women and children they kill. They've already lost. They've lost the hearts and minds of everybody here.
I've got a good news for you. Quran said, جاء الحق وزهق الباطل إن الباطل كان زهوقا. The righteous have come, the wrongdoers have gone. The wrongdoers are to be gone. This is definitely going to play out for the advantage of the oppressed people. This is God's words. This is God's promise. We're not scared. We're not terrified of Israel genocidal acts. We can defend our country.
Why do you think Netanyahu is a piece of shit?
Because he is a piece of shit. He's really a piece of shit. He does like wars. He's an evil. Beirut, Gaza, West Bank, Iran, Yemen. Don't you think he's a piece of shit? He is.
Without any reason, the Israel attacked Iran, and I think it was really unfair. It was cruel, and we didn't deserve that. We didn't have a nuclear bomb. They didn't have any reason for that. And just because of the fear that they have and being so paranoid, they try to threaten Iran for many years and finally attack Iran. And in this, between many of children, women, my mother has a cancer. She was in treatment in Tehran, and I have to flee from Tehran, which was absolutely nonsense. It's really heartbreaking.
3, 2, 1, let's go! Palestine! We're free! Palestine! We're free! Palestine! We're free! Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free!
Israel's killing children, bombing hospitals, bombing refugee camps, starving an entire population, committing genocide. So there's no more red lines to cross. Every red line has been crossed. But that's why we have to come on the streets. We have to demand that complicity is ended. The tide was beginning to turn, of course, and we saw the UK government bring forward some small sanctions. And that's no doubt also why Israel has decided to strike Iran in order to try to play the victim when they're the ones that are committing genocide.
My name is Dr. Muhammad Tahir. I am a British surgeon. I spent 7 months in Gaza over the course of 3 missions, and I only left when the ceasefire was enacted, or the so-called ceasefire. Gaza was really the epitome of tribulation. We worked in very difficult situations. Our hospitals were bombed. Hospitals were already destroyed, and we had to deal with overflow from those units that became defunct. We had to deal with the shortage of supplies. That included antibiotics, dressings, analgesia, clean wards, but also it was just the sheer number and the magnitude of the people and the types of injuries that no one's ever seen before. Because, think about it, we are dealing with the Zionist regime, which is using the latest tech and all manner of weapons that they're experimenting on Gazans with. And so you're seeing the most horrific injuries. So those that actually die are at peace. But those that live with their injuries, they are in a misery, in a world of misery. And just imagine being there, lying in your bed and not being able to change the outcome of your fate, and just knowing that the world is oppressing you. No one's coming to help you. We have to be the voice for those people. That's why we're here.
Israel has been allowed to commit a genocide with full impunity against the Palestinian people. There have been no repercussions on Israel from the international community, from the international legal institutions. They've continued to get a full supply of weapons from the Western nations, and that has emboldened them. It has emboldened them to act in this way of aggression against the Iranian people. But secondly, Netanyahu himself, when he went to the White House, said very clearly that over the last 20 months, what he has done is to attack America's enemies. He has attacked Hamas, he has attacked Hezbollah, he has weakened Iran, he has attacked the Houthis in Yemen. And they are in a position now where those forces of resistance within the Middle East have been weakened, and they feel that they are able to attack Iran in this way. So I think that is what this timing is about, and it is absolutely horrendous what they're doing.
The Iranian foreign minister today is that this is your opportunity to do something good and do something sensible, and propose a return to the Iran nuclear agreement as a way of stopping Israeli bombardment. Recognize Israel has nuclear weapons, Iran doesn't. Israel has not signed the non-proliferation treaty, Iran has. Therefore, Iran is subject to international inspection, Israel is not. Let's have some equity here and have everybody sign the NPT, everybody be open to inspection, and stop the bombing of Iran now.
I've been coming for the last almost 2 years because the government's not doing anything. They've made no stand. They keep giving weapons to Israel, and we're just watching things escalate further and further, and people are starving to death, and something needs to stop. I think the government will stop and persecute people who are taking action to stop this the starvation of people and the bombing of people, whereas they won't take action against a country that's bombing 5 countries at the same time, killing people, starving people on purpose.
We are Palestine Action! We are Palestine Action! We are Palestine Action!
I don't think red paint caused that or caused any trouble. What caused trouble? What caused that? What caused terrorism? Are the bombs and all the fire jets that this terrorist government is supplying to the genocidal apartheid terrorist state of Israel that's been committing a genocide and ethnic cleansing and live streaming Holocaust against the Palestinian people. What the government reaction to this? They're trying to repress and silence and intimidate Palestine Action. It shows how what Action is doing is effective and is hitting this war machine strongly.
Terrorist borders off our street. Terrorist borders off our street.
Shame on you! 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 Guys, someone
Back away! Move back! Move back! Move back! Move back! Sister!
I grew up in Germany, and in the 80s and 90s I had weekly conversations with my grandfather. We didn't really get to the point what he did in the Second World War, but because we couldn't actually grasp why the Nazis could get in power and what made the surge in Nazism and take over the power. So this is why I'm here, because this is exactly, people were silent, they didn't stand up.
So we've been here today because we've been on lots of Palestinian demos, my wife and I, and we lost our son in Mexico 2 years ago. And so I feel very connected with the people of Gaza where I worked. And I had a friend, Mohammed Kulab, who was killed by an Israeli bomb in 2023, and so that was really, I mean, he was a lovely guy. He was an English teacher, couldn't get work as an English teacher in Gaza. And then he got work, and then he was killed.
For me, the choices often had to fall in the hands of the Palestinian doctors. And I tell you, the guys that had it the worst were the ones in ICU. Because you have patients who are, may or may not survive. And then you have like a sea of other patients that come in and children. And then you have to make the decision on a daily basis to withdraw life support from so many patients that might otherwise have had a chance to live. And for them, I've spoken to those doctors. They are tormented daily by the heaviness of such a choice. Can you imagine? I mean, I was there in the ER when we had to make the choice between children lying on the floor, between which child to pull the ventilator from, in order to give a chance to another child. And that haunts me. And that was just a few incidents because I'm a surgeon predominantly. So imagine those guys. And Gaza is just, it's the split. It's become what represents human value versus what represents evil. And we will always, inshallah, be on the side of human value.
This is an allegory of a father eating his son. It's based on a Goya painting. It symbolises power in the form of the father eating his own son. And this is a situation we found ourselves with our government. It's not for the people, it's against the people. It's a military organisation.
There are 16 Elbit system sites in the United Kingdom. Palestine Action has caused the loss of billions of dollars of contracts and many tens of millions of pounds of damage to the Zionist criminal war machine. And we demand that everybody here shut it down. The siege of Gaza, the siege of Gaza, the occupation, the occupation. Elvis system, Elvis system. Keir Starmer, Keir Starmer. Shut it down, shut it down, shut it down for Palestine. Shut it down, shut it down, shut it down for. Shut it down, shut it down, shut it down for Palestine. Shut it down, shut it down. The siege of Gaza, the siege of Gaza, the occupation, the occupation, colonialism, colonialism, imperialism, imperialism. Shut it down, shut it down, shut it down for Palestine. Shut it down, shut it down, shut it down for Palestine. Shut it down for Palestine.